Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nana Talks podcast. Please do not forget, subscribe, share, like, comment, ask your question, because basically this is how I'm finding the next guests and I'm asking them a lot of stuff and things. And today I have amazing Iman Cotton. She is the loan officer at the CDC Small Business Finance. Thank you so much for joining me today and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It is my pleasure to join you and to share information about whatever we're diving into.
Awesome. So let me start from the confession. Not so while ago, I had this whole idea about how the SBA loans are working, and I thought that SBA are lending money to the financial institutions. So later, those financial institutions under super low rates, right? And later on, this financial institution will turn around and lend this cash to the small businesses under much higher rates. And this whole idea sound to me very shadowy-ish. And now I know that I was way off base at the moment of a time, right? But also, I'm from my bubble, and this bubble is formed by startup founders and small business owners, mostly owned by vets and military spouses. And therefore, or this idea and misconception, lives over there, or I'm complete moron. I don't know, one or two. But anyways, that's why one of the reasons why we are here today to clear that up. So please educate me, walk me through how this whole thing with the SBA loans work, look like, and where the hell the money are.
So, such a loaded question, and thank you so much for asking. CDC Small Business Finance, part of the Momentous Capital branded family of organizations. I can assist businesses at all stages and all levels. And we love veterans and all small business owners to begin with. So, regardless if you're a startup, an existing business, or looking to do an acquisition, CDC Small Business Finance can help you. As you stated, all SBA lenders, we are actually not the same. So each SBA lender has to follow the SOP or standard operating procedures set by the SBA to set their lending appetite of what and the SOP simply just states what we should, must, or may follow. And from there, we all set our own guidelines.
So they're
So,
not giving you any money. Let's clear this part up, right? SBA
cool.
aren't giving you any money,
So
or
the
like how the
SBA,
process look like.
absolutely. I am the number one SBA lender in the nation for the Community Advantage program. Let's start there.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that was worth to mention. There you
Exactly.
go.
So, so the banks, CDC, CDFIs, brokers, different organizations, we all have access, or most of us have access to SBA products. So SBA does do a guarantee of a certain percentage, and then we fund the rest of the loan amount, whatever amount it may be. So SBA is giving money. SBA does have money, but it's not the SBA who issues the money to the customers. It's the different lenders who are
That's
SBA
it.
providers that issues the money to customers. So, and again, going back to the SBA's SOP or standard operating procedures, it's basically a roadmap that us lenders have to follow to issue SBA loans. Did I answer that
Right.
question for you?
Now that makes sense.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah.
What else? Should we dive right into how do you get approved with CDC, or what are
Oh
you looking
yeah, just we will get there. But before, I'd like to talk about a little bit, SBA and everything connected to it. When we're thinking about SBA, first thing gonna be SBA loan, and then gonna be certification, right? For veterans, for women-owned businesses, disabled veterans, yada yada yada, and all that you're gonna need in most of the cases to participate in the DEI supplier contracting or to collaborate or contract with the government, right? And one of my previous guests, he is disabled veteran. He owns the company in the electrical industry, and he mentioned that for him, the moment when he started to collaborate with the small community bank was the moment when he started to secure those contracts, not the moment when he got certified, because get certification is essentially just open the door, but to enter through the door you need to have a great financial institution who will back you, right, who will provide you that needed opportunities. And I would assume that exactly the same applies to the loan SBA loan officers, right? To have the killer loan officer like you, the best one, right? That can help you to open the door. But like, can you also walk through a little bit this process and why having SBA officer on a short call might be, well, significant thing to have for your business?
So to clear things up, CDC Small Business Finance, we are again a lender and we offer SBA loans. I don't work directly for the SBA.
Right.
There are SBA reps that work directly for the SBA who can help with certification, contracting, things of that nature. Me, as a loan officer, who provides access to capital for SBA loans, it's invaluable to help you kind of walk through the process to help you set yourself up for success. So in order to secure the government contract, or when after you've secured it, you need access to capital. And that's where I come into play to help business owners access capital through SBA vehicles or SBA products and services. But as far as certifications and things of that nature, I don't deal with them specifically. But most of our business owners who want to be in government contracting, they all look to have those certifications and things of that nature. And the SBA.gov is a great resource, and the professionals over there at the SBA and different organizations such as SCORE, the Small Business Development Center, some of the chambers, they're also helping to provide information and resources for the certifications.
Right. So, what might be the best way or the best time for me as the small business owner to connect with you as the SBA loan officer before I'm like, trying to secure my government contract, or right after I got it, just to
So
make everything, a little bit easier for both of us?
I love for businesses to be proactive, especially with government contracting, because sometimes to secure the contract, they want to see the funds available.
Right. Stable cash flow and everything
Absolutely,
else, right? That
absolutely,
you're not going to die if they will withdraw the contract by any
exactly,
reasons.
exactly. And then after you've secured the actual contract, and then you come to us for lending opportunities, sometimes we aren't able um, to provide access to capital after you secured that contract. And now you're stuck where you're trying to fulfill the contract, but you can't access any capital. So I
Right.
would always say, if you can, come to us before you secure or while you're in the talks of securing the government contract, so you can know what us as lenders can do to help support your overall contract and to help you fulfill the overall request. Um, I did have one lender who came, I mean, one borrower who came to me after she secured the contract, and it was actually with LADWP. And unfortunately, we weren't able to assist her. But if she would have come before, prior to quitting her job and things of that nature, we would have possibly been able to help her. So, to your point, I would say talk to us while you're having those negotiations and conversations with and while you're looking to secure the overall contracts.
Right. That make absolutely sense. So you mentioned that, like, you're gonna need some time to essentially realize whether you will be able to help to secure that fund. So now the moment when we will go through the process and timelines. So how long I'm gonna need to wait? How should I prepare myself before I'm gonna start calling you and like, hey man, I need money?
For
Because most
sure.
probably that's not gonna work, right?
Most times it doesn't. So proper preparation prevents poor performance. It's always,
I
it's
mean,
all
yes.
it's always what I want my businesses to focus on, just properly preparing themselves and being in the position to have the conversation. So, regardless if you're a startup or an existing business, I can help you. The roadmap for both of those look different, and I'll go through the requirements for both so our audience is aware. Regardless if you're a startup or an existing business, we need anyone who has 20% ownership or greater to be on the application. They'll have to be on the application. Now, for startup businesses, believe it or not, 70% as of today, 70% of CDC small business loans have been funded to startup businesses, 0 days in business projection based.
Okay, so hey, all the startups owned by vets and military spouses, you should go over there. Or, like, you can go to Nana Fund, that's my company, right? And secure over there grants, support programs, and then go again to the CDC small businesses. Most probably, I'm going to have them on platform. So, no worries about it. You're going to know about it. So, but
So,
yeah, okay, getting back to startups, 70%. Love it. Okay.
right? Me too. Especially if you have outside income or W-2 income, and this can be from your partner or spouse, whatever it may be. So as long as the current household income is can cover the household minimum, I'm sorry, the household living expenses and the minimum payments reporting on the credit report will give you the business loan up to 350 simply based on the business plan and 24 months of financial projections. So I'll say that again. As long as the household income can cover the personal living expenses and the minimum payments reporting on the credit report, will give you the business loan based on the business plan and 24 months of projections up to 350. You
Okay,
all
now just talk me through using the normal human language. I'm saying something like, okay, I do have my W-2 and I'm making, let's assume, 100 like per
perfect.
year, right? Just to make it a little bit easier, right? So now let's assume that I'm living, I don't know, alone, but I'm a single mom.
Yeah.
So, like, my household's gonna be, I don't know how much approximately per month or in a year. Do you have some kind of a benchmarks or so?
No. As long as that 100,000 income is enough, simply said, to cover your personal living expenses, your rent or mortgage, your utilities, and any other personal expenses, and the minimum payments reporting on your credit report. If you have any credit cards, loans, mortgages, personal loans, student loans, just the minimum payment only. We
Oh,
want to,
so that essentially, if I can cover that all up, I can come to you and ask
absolutely,
for, like, okay, let's like work through getting or securing SBA loan for startups, right?
absolutely.
Got it.
So
Okay, now I
in
got it.
addition, perfect. So that 100,000 annual salary is covering the items on your credit report and your household expenses. And you have the business plan and the 24 months of financial projections. We also want to see that you have skin in the game or that you can have skin in the game. We want to see that you've invested or that you can invest 5% of the loan amount into your business. And that could have been a previous injection or previous investments or money spent on your business, or it could just be from your current cash on hand.
Right.
So
It
if you
should be
want,
reflected in my financial projections, I assume, right?
so
That skin in the game.
the not necessarily the injection. So the 5% injection that can come from your checking, savings, stocks, bonds, IRA, mutual funds, and or retirement accounts. So if you, for instance, your business license, if you have a lease space, if you're paying, rent already, if you've already spent money on the business, we can count that depending on how long ago it was. We can count that towards the 5% injection. So this,
Right. But like, should I also reflect that anyhow in my financial
I'm
projections?
going to
Because
get to
like
that
on the
point.
financial projections, you're gonna need to show both sides, right? The revenue and also expenses.
So the financial projections goes back to play with the 24 months of projections that I was speaking of. When I stated we need a business plan and
Right.
24 months of projections, the projections is just the anticipated revenue and expenses that you plan on having for the business.
Should
The
I use any like template or
We
whatever?
do. We do have a template to provide you, and also partnering with SCORE, the Small Business Development Center, they can assist you for free with your projections and the business plan. So again, the projections is just simply based on the business. Right now, the injection requirement that we're speaking of, that's you personally that you need to show in order to qualify. So let me finish running through that. The 5% injection, and we also need to see that you have 10 to 15% for post-funding liquidity. So to make this simple, for a startup business, we need to see that you can cover your personal living expenses and the minimum payments reporting on your credit report. We also need to see that you have a 5% injection. And because we're a nonprofit organization and we're not going to allow you nor us to put you in a bad situation, we want to ensure that you have 10 to 15% for post-funding liquidity. Meaning if you do 100,000, we want to see that you invested or that you have 5,000 already. And then we want to see another 10 to 15,000 cash on hand for you personally to cover your personal living expenses and minimum payments. The business loan, we expect the business to pay back the business loan. And you show us that within your projections that you were speaking of. So that's what the projections are going to show us. So for instance, if you did secure a government contract or you are looking to secure a government contract, that helps with your projections. That helps to show us the revenue and things of that nature that you'll be receiving, and you'll also cover the expenses that you have as well. And we, like I mentioned, we do have a template and there is free assistance, and we also have a business advising team, who we have to, who some of our clients, depending on the loan they get, they have to be involved in post loan counseling to ensure that they are on pace with the projections and on pace with the payments, and just to see if they need any help. So we do have the business advising services. And then really quickly, we can run into an existing business and how you qualify for that if you don't have any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested in the like business plan and all of that because like financial projections, that's one piece of a pie, but business plan, especially when we're talking about SBA business plan, I mean, it's easier a little bit for me. I'm a geek, right? So I always can go to AI and, to all four, five, six of them and just keep running prompts until I will get something
For
looking
sure.
okay-ish, right? But for some small business owners or startup owners who are out of the tech bubble, that can be challenging.
For
So
sure.
I assume that if you, again, getting back to the idea of me being the, I don't know, startup founder, small business owner, that means that I would better go to or to talk to my loan officer and ask like, hey, how can I make that happen, right? Or what are the documents I need to gather to prepare, so when we're going to sit together and try to create my financial projections, my business plan, we will not be in need to go back and forth and like wasting a lot of time just trying to fulfill everything. By the way, talking about time, can you please give me just sense of like between the moment I will come to you for the very first time and saying I need money until the moment when you will say here's your money and I'm going to start to pop champagne, how long will it take?
30 to 45 days, the entire process, but we can move as swiftly as our client moves. And that's
Business days or calendar days? Because that
days,
matters.
calendar days, 30 to 45
Wow.
calendar days.
Okay.
And again, like I stated, we can move as fast as the borrower can move. It's just, the accuracy of the documents, the completion of the documents, things of that nature. So, CDC Small Business Finance, we're more so of your old school lending, where back in the day you walk in, we want to know the story, your children's name, and to learn about the overall game plan and your overall goals, so we can stay, with your business and with you as you progress and as you expand. So we
So
can
I can
move.
essentially stay with you. Like I can
Absolutely.
get the like I don't know, startup loan, and let's assume that I've like done everything right and now I'm much bigger and now I need, I don't know, the next type of SBA product. I can stick with you for a while, right?
Absolutely. CDC Small Business Finance, we have only do we offer small business loans, we also offer 504 commercial real estate, and even the Community Advantage program, which we're the number one lender in the nation for, that can be used for 100% commercial real estate financing. So we have so many different products, and not only does CDC Small Business Finance, as I mentioned, we're a part of the Momentous Capital branded family of organization. So we also have capital impact partners, or partners where as when you continue to grow or expand, or if you wanted to do a hospital or a school or something like that, our CDFI side or capital impact partners can help you with that. So CDC Small Business Finance, capital impact partners, the overall momentous capital brand, we have you covered as far as being a business at any level.
So I
Um,
can come to you at day zero and stick around till I will, I don't know, turn into the next Rockefeller. Love it.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about working with for CDC. It's been uberly fulfilling for me compared to being at your traditional financial institution, because of my ability to help people and to help to truly help provide access to capital. And if I can't say no, the yes today, we're going to create a roadmap so we can say yes in 3 months or 6 months or next year when you file your tax return. So, but we also love existing businesses. We have a way less stringent requirements than your traditional financial institution. If you have great credit, great revenue, great net income, you should be going to your bank. Your bank should be giving you a loan, fingers crossed. You come to me as an alternative lender if you can't get approved by your bank, if you're 0 days in business, if you have weak cash flow, things of that nature.
But if I'm a small business and I'm doing all right, but I had, and that's the story, I'm keep hearing more and more and more, especially again from vets and military spouses. They were trying to connect with some banks. I don't know whether they are big or small, and banks essentially told them, yeah, sure, leave your request that we will never get back to you.com. And essentially, they never get back to those folks. And years after that experience, the guys are already quite sustained business owners and they're thinking about expansion or buying out some smaller business or something like that, and they're still super hesitant about going back to typical financial institution. So my wild guess would be that if you're still hesitant and you're a small business, you still can go to the like officer and start to build up your relationship, right? So
Absolutely.
can you please just walk me through, like, super quickly and shortly, like how everything will work and look like for the small business owner who never had like previous experience of collaborating with the loan officers, but who already has some how sustainable business? Let's say I'm 3 years in a business. Oh no, let's talk about Valley of Death. I'm on my second year of business. So all the typical financial institutions are still, will send me to we will never ask you, at.com, but most probably I still can work with you.
For sure. For sure you can. So after you've talked to your bank and they've updated you that they can or can't help you for whatever reason, then you want to contact one of us. CDC Small Business Finance and our loan officers, like I stated, we want to hear the story. After you get denied by your bank, we don't want you to go do any merchant cash advances and go to predatory lenders who will, possibly get you a loan in 3 to 7 days, but you're going to have this high rate that you're going to be coming to me to refinance later on. So please, please, please come to us, have the conversation. let us do. And now would be a great time, just like you go to the doctor's office for that physical once a year. Now would be a great time before the end of the year for any existing businesses to have a conversation with us, because ultimately we can do that kind of financial checkup and let you know where we need you to land in order to actually qualify for a loan. So tax avoidance and tax evasion is real, and we have to make sure as an existing business that we're showing some type of net income in order to qualify. Because for an existing business, I need $1 in net income for every dollar in debt. So for an existing business, the way that you qualify with us is we have to, your current business net income has to be able to cover your current business debt, your current business expenses, plus the new business loan. So to make this real simple, like you mentioned, if you're currently at 500 a month in expenses as a business, expenses and debts, that's 6,000 a year. Let's say that the loan might be an additional $1,000 a month. So now we're at an additional 12,000 for the year. So the 6,000 plus 12,000 is 18,000 at least that you need to show for $1 in net income for every dollar in debt to be able to cover the actual new business loan. So
That
just
I'm
keep that.
already doing that, right? That I already
Exactly.
essentially had that during the previous year, or I've already generated those 18,000 till the end of like 2024, right?
Exactly, for sure.
Okay.
So as long as you can cover your current business debt, current business expenses, plus the new business loan as an existing business, we'll do the business loan up to 350. We will always only give you what you need, not what you want. Because we are a nonprofit. And again, this is all about us doing our due diligence, making sure that we're setting you up for the best success possible, to not have any situations where we could possibly default. Of course, life happens, but we do our due diligence to make sure that's not going to happen prior to issuing the loan. Unlike other organizations with the predatory loans or the merchant cash advance and things of that nature. So steer clear from those if you can, and if you do get denied from your bank, come find one of us alternative lenders first, especially CDC Small Business Finance. And then for some reason, if we can't help you, we have a partner. We all of us CDCs and different organizations, we just want to help our clients at the end of the day get funded. So we'll refer you to other organizations if we can't help you. But again, ultimately, it's about creating that relationship, coming back with creating a game plan for you to be able to come back and to keep the relationship growing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
You're
clearing
welcome.
everything up for me and like educate me a little bit. Because, like, yes, I'm working with the lenders now, but again, I know for a fact that a lot of folks from my bubble, unfortunately, right, they're still very hesitant about SBA loans. Most of them even don't have that idea and understanding that there are nonprofit lenders.
Absolutely.
There, everybody are assuming that every time you're hearing the word loan,
SBA.
you're gonna be screwed,
For sure.
and not necessarily like just loan, right? Everybody's like, okay, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna take away my business, everything gonna be very, very poorly and bad for me. No,
Exactly.
you always can find great partners, and like you always can come to Iman. Thank you so much for being with me today. Will make sure that I'm going to leave all the links how you can connect with Iman, with the CDC Small Business Finance. Make sure that you will be able to get access to that funding. And again, just as a reminder, you can work with them from the day zero, and you better be going to them right here, right now, just to make sure that you are starting to
Hmm.
essentially work on your financial documents. It is like complex story, but you just have to be very smart with that. I mean, you're an entrepreneur. Life is tough. Buy a helmet.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
That's it. Well, thank you so much. It was a great opportunity. And yeah, see you next time.
I will see you next time. Thank you so much for having me. It's been my pleasure.